I never expected to find hope in a paper bag of scones. I moved into the sleepy cul-de-sac of Willow Lane 3 months after my divorce. I'd packed up 10 years of my life into boxes and memories I didn't want to carry. It was early spring when I first saw him, the man who lived in the house next to mine. He didn't speak much, always kept to himself. He was tall, probably in his early 40s, wore the same navy windbreaker almost every day. The neighbors called him Mr. Brooks. I didn't plan to meet him. I didn't plan much of anything anymore. Mornings were cold coffee and long stares out my window. Nights were longer. My world had gone silent, not in the peaceful way, but in the empty kind. It was on a cloudy Tuesday morning that I heard a knock at the door. I paused, unsure. I rarely had visitors. I wasn't ready for people, still hadn't hung the curtains, or smiled like I meant it. But when I opened the door, there he stood, Mr. Brooks, holding a small brown bag. "I baked too many," he said. "Thought you might like some." He didn't wait for an answer. Just set the bag on the step and gave a small nod before walking away. Inside were 4 golden scones, still warm. I stared at them for a full minute before taking one bite. It was perfect. But it wasn't just the taste. It was the gesture. Someone had noticed I was here. Someone cared enough to knock. The next day, I left a thank you note in his mailbox. 2 days later, there was another bag. Blueberry scones this time. That became our language. He brought scones. I left notes. His name was Elijah. I learned he was a retired carpenter. Lived alone. His wife had passed away 5 years ago. He liked gardening and worked with a nonprofit that fixed old furniture for schools. I told him in my notes that I used to be a high school art teacher, that I stopped after the divorce, that I didn't know who I was without that part of me. We didn't speak out loud for weeks. Only paper and pastries. Then one Saturday, I found a note inside the scone bag. It said, "Would you like to walk to the farmer's market with me this morning?" I said yes. It was simple. We walked side by side. He bought fresh herbs. I bought a sketch pad I didn't know I needed. He told me the best local honey came from a stall run by 2 sisters who lived down the road. We stopped by it. He was right. Over the weeks, we became part of each other's routines. I started painting again. He built me a wooden shelf for my supplies. I made him lemon muffins once. He said they were terrible but ate 3. We laughed about it until our sides ached. But it wasn't just about the baking or the gifts. It was the quiet presence, the steady kindness, the way he never asked me to explain myself, the way I didn't feel broken around him. One evening, as we sat on my porch watching the sky turn tangerine, I asked him why he first brought me those scones. He looked at me for a moment and said, "You look like someone who needed a reminder that people still care." That night I cried, not from sadness, but from a strange, overwhelming relief. It wasn't love at first sight. It wasn't anything dramatic. It was something better, gentle healing. Elijah never tried to fix me. He just gave me space to breathe, to feel, to remember I still mattered. Now, nearly a year later, we walk every Sunday morning to the market. He still brings me scones when he bakes. I still leave him notes, sometimes doodled with small flowers and birds. And every once in a while, when I look over at him tending his garden, I think, I came here broken. But because of one quiet man with a paper bag of scones, I found my way back to life. And that is something I'll never take for granted.